Hey guys, how's it going? Today I wanted to talk about the idiocy of other people when disclosing your mental illness. The first part I want to talk about is stigma. Stigma can come from yourself, it can come from other people. It's basically a fancy word for discrimination. But I think a large part of stigma comes from people not understanding what schizophrenia is. I think if more people would admit to their schizophrenia and talk about it with other people, I think the general population would have a better idea of what schizophrenia is all about. Because people don't admit their diagnosis, a lot of the information that people get about schizophrenia is from the 5 o'clock news, and that's never a good thing. The more people know about what schizophrenia is, the more they might understand what a frightening and disabling condition it is. I'm not saying to disclose your schizophrenia at work. I think disclosing your schizophrenia at work or with neighbors is generally a bad idea, especially if you plan on staying at your job for a long time or if you're not going to move. Once you say what your diagnosis is, you can't take it back. You got to live with it. And the reason why I say that you shouldn't it's a bad idea to disclose your schizophrenia at work for the most part is because things happen that you wouldn't expect to happen, like bigotry or gossiping. I've never once, so I used to be really open about my diagnosis. I've never once had said to someone, oh, by the way, I have schizophrenia, and I've had that person say, what exactly is schizophrenia? I don't really know what it is. People don't ask questions, and they just resort to whatever they know, whether it's from the 5 o'clock news or if they took a psychology class in college. People are idiots. In the psychology field, psychologists and other professionals think that if you have schizophrenia, you can't be a counselor. I once went to the hospital because I was having a panic attack, and they put me in the psych ward like they should, and we talked about different options. But when I first got in there, this nurse, who was really nice lady, I thought she was really nice, she came over to do the intake with me, go over what kind of stuff was going on, and we had like a good conversation for about 5 minutes, and then she left to go talk to her supervisor, and I overheard her whispering to her supervisor. She said, he thinks he can be a counselor. And I thought, first of all, I can hear you, and second of all, why not? That's straight up discrimination. One night I was playing pool with a friend of mine and some of his friends and his girlfriend and his girlfriend's friend, and I found myself alone with my friend's girlfriend's friend, and her name was Tabitha, and she was a supervisor for a bunch of case managers. At the time I was in school, and I was not quite unsure what I wanted to do, but case management was one of the fields I was thinking I could go into just to like break into the substance abuse field. So at the time I was very open about my illness. Like all my professors knew I had schizophrenia. All my friends knew I had schizophrenia. All my family knew I had schizophrenia. So I said, oh, by the way, I have schizophrenia. I don't know how it came up. And she says to me, I thought something was wrong with you. As if like I should just give her a pat on the back for figuring something out. And it was, that was one of the moments where I started to kind of not discuss how much I had a mental illness. Even my good friend's brother, who we used to hang out a lot with in high school, his brother just kind of made fun of me for a little while for having schizophrenia. And I told my friend, I said, I can't believe your brother, man. He's giving me a pretty hard time. Yeah, and through the course of disclosing my mental illness at work at one point, and just having people gossip about me, and that I kind of withdrew from that. I kind of withdrew from disclosing my mental illness. Like my current job I plan on having for a long time, so I don't want to disclose anything, because you can't ever take it back. Most people are not good at being people. Given the opportunity to badmouth someone, further stereotypes, or just gossip about somebody for their own personal gain, most people will do it. Even though my position is a peer position, everybody knows I have a mental illness. I don't feel comfortable disclosing. So that's it for today. If you're going to disclose your mental illness, do it in a safe place with good people. Preferably somebody who's going to ask you questions about it rather than just assume a bunch of stuff because they saw the news or watched or read a book. People should be more open because stigma is discrimination. But that's all, and thanks for watching.